Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. We are here at the third stop in the USAC Bouldering National Cup Series. It's the Bayou City Classic, hosted by Momentum Silver Street in Houston, Texas. My name is Al Smith.
And I'm Miles West.
And we'll be bringing you live commentary throughout the night, delivering all the drama and excitement that is sure to unfold. So, Miles, why don't you kick us off? Tell us a little bit about what we're looking at right now.
Yeah, man. So right now what we have going on, we have the field. They are going through their previews. Essentially what's happening is they're trying to gain as much information about the puzzles, the climbs they're about to have, from the ground as possible, right? Sometimes they work it out with a friend. Other times you have some competitors that like to sit back and come up with their own game plan. But essentially that's what they're doing.
And it looks like they're about finished up here. I think we are about to kick things off on men and women's number one. They're headed back into ISO.
Awesome, man. Super stoked.
Our manager, Joey Luna, Sydney Smith. They both used
Now, just to follow up on that process of what they're doing when they come out and they look at those boulders, they have 2 minutes for each boulder, is that right?
Correct.
And then they are also not allowed to touch, well, they're allowed to touch the starting hold, and that's it.
Yep. Yeah, so they're allowed to touch the starting hold. They are not allowed to feel any of the other holds or pull off the ground in any way. That's about it.
Got it. Well, I mean, anything's better than nothing, I suppose. So
I suppose. Yeah, on some of these climbs, that can tell you a lot.
Very good, very good. Well, it looks like they're about to kick it off. I'm sure that timer will be up in any moment here. And first up, we're going to be looking at, I believe, Claire Burfind.
All right, guys. All the competitors are back in isolation. We've got Claire Burfind up for women on the World Cup.
Yeah, Claire Burfind is about to be headed out to get started, but the field overall is very exciting this evening. It's a kind of an outrageous roster of crushers on the men and women's side, including some of the celebrity climbers that people are used to seeing, as well as a ton of kind of up-and-coming crushers that not a lot of people know. On the women's side, we've got Chloe Koskoy, Sienna Kopf, Natalia Grossman, just a few of the names that I hadn't known, and then some of the names that you may know on the women's side: Michaela Kirsch, of course, Alex Puccio, Brooke Rabatou, and Kyra Condi, who qualified in first place last night. So the ladies alone are sure to put on an awesome show.
For sure, man. The monsters are in the house. Who do we got for the men?
Well, we'll go from 8th place qualifier on down the list. We got Sam McQueen, who'll be coming out first. Then Alex Fritz, Drew Ruana, Clay Gordon, and then again some of the more household names: Nathaniel Coleman, Matt Foltz, Ross Fulkerson, and then World Cup competitor Gregor Vezenik, who just delivered an outrageous performance in qualifiers yesterday and pretty much dominated. So again, lots of super crushers sure to deliver the action for us.
Yeah, man, for sure.
How weird. Why would they want that?
All right, there we have Claire Burfind getting started on women's number one.
Yeah, man, so this boulder's pretty interesting. It's obviously going to test their ability to move laterally. Seems as though it's focused primarily on a little bit of balance coordination, which Claire excels at. Primarily a sport climber, but also an incredible boulderer.
And this sort of run across the volumes bit is something that's becoming more and more common in competition climbing. Am I right? I mean, I keep seeing it pop up. It seems like something that the competitors need to know.
For sure, man. It's all over the place. I think it's a nice way to kind of test some of the things that, this whole field is strong, right?
Yeah, no doubt.
But
of course.
So maybe testing a little bit of the balance, the hip flexibility, the coordination, Really what the route setters are going after is to, they've comprised multiple puzzles for these climbers to solve, all testing different skill sets, essentially. Looks like she's taking some time sorting this one out. A lot of times with these coordination boulders, it takes a couple goes to sort of understand the balance points.
There she goes.
She had it.
Seems like the fortunate thing about these coordination boulders is that you can try them repeated times because it's not gassing out your fingertips. You're not getting pumped or blasted. You can kind of take the run and jump as many times in a row as you need to.
Absolutely. Most of them aren't focused on power or strength really in any way. So you can kind of give it as many burns as you're really willing to.
Seems like she's taking a little break to compose herself. Give it a little brush. Seems like she's about got it worked out in terms of that sequence. Just got to stick it that one time.
For sure. Smart. I mean, so on the other side of the coin, the issue with some of these coordination boulders is they're kind of frustrating, right? You're not burning any energy. You feel like you can try it a million times. So having the head to kind of step back, calm yourself down. Sometimes you really have to force yourself to do that, you know?
Yeah, I could see it easily happening, especially if you're feeling in great shape, you're feeling plenty of strength. It can be very frustrating to just pop off the wall for what kind of seems like no reason.
Right.
But climbing is obviously a complex game, and these setters are really bringing out that nature of climbing with these diverse boulders.
Absolutely. The setting crew is incredibly talented for this event. We have Garrett Greger, our chief for this event. We have Mark Mercer, John Ungst, and Chris Lacrasto, all insanely talented setters.
Let's see if she's got it. Oh!
Beautiful.
That's exactly what we came to see. Excellent work by Claire Burfine as she casually approaches that finish hold. No, I spoke too soon. With only about a minute left. What a heartbreaker. She celebrated a bit too soon there.
Yeah, it was clear that she was stoked that she stuck the coordination move. The tricky part about the finish on this boulder is that it's a very odd balance point, and that volume that you guys see out left, that half moon, is definitely a requirement to match the finish hold.
30 seconds, Claire.
She may still have it if she moves quick. Let's see what she can do. I think that's going to be it. Hands go up. That'll be it for Claire Burfine.
10 seconds. Excellent, Claire. Give it up for her one more time. Nice work. Time. Climbing now. Sam McQueen is in the house.
All right, Sam McQueen is setting off on men's number 1. Claire Burfine's going to get a 5-minute rest before she gets on again.
Looks a little bit hard.
So let's tune in and see what Sam's got in store for us.
Now these holds are red because we hope to draw blood on the first hour. Big time.
Now, for those of you at home who are not entirely familiar with this competition format, typically in the climbing world, you either send or you don't send. But the format here has been adjusted slightly to reflect the progress that you make through each boulder. So you can see the numbered holds, 5, 10, 15, and then the last one with 25. And if you establish control on each of those consecutive numbers, those points will be added to your scorecard. So it's not just a matter of who finished the boulder and did not. You get points as you go along.
This move looks tricky. Working your way through this midsection to the 15.
Looking nice and patient as he moves through there, zone 10. such a precarious position standing on these volumes. Having climbed in a lot of these in the Citizens Comp earlier this afternoon, I know that these setters are so devious and so often are setting these complicated, bouncy, precarious positions.
How hard do I recommend that is? Oh, I would say impossible +3. Looks a little hard.
He's just sorting it out. I think he's going to take some time. He obviously knows how to work through the first part of the boulder at this point. I don't think he's particularly stressed. He looks pretty calm. Just kind of eyeing it up.
Here he goes. Let's wish him luck. Not quite, but plenty of time on the clock with 2 minutes. Should have plenty of time to take it home. Nice. Good to see him taking his time, not rushing to get back on the boulder. Catching the breath. Crowd's really getting behind him here, wants to see some action. There he goes.
Solid with the foot stab.
There he goes, establishing control of hold 15, gaining those points, if nothing else. Oh.
Just short. I don't know how well it translates on the stream here, but those volumes are rather large. It's kind of hard to gauge how tall they are from where you're standing. So it looks like he came up just a little bit short from the sweet spot of that volume. Maybe he'll just give it a little bit more.
Now, is that volume pretty decent hold on the backside? If you get deep enough, is it fairly...
It is. It's pretty good. Yeah. I mean, the way he's pulling these moves, for sure, if he hits the sweet spot on the top of this hold, I would be very surprised if he didn't hold on to it. I don't want to jinx him.
Oh, well, he can't hear you. It's all right. We won't blame you for that one.
I'm going to try not to do that anymore.
Nice work, Sam. Nice work. So Claire is now under her second problem. Nice work, Sam.
So Claire Burfind, our first competitor, is done with her 5-minute break and back on women's number 2. Our first competitor on women's 2.
Yeah, Chloe is on boulder prop number 1.
Oh, correct. You were right about that. Do you want to fight him?
And then we have Chloe Koskoy getting started on women's 1. Here's Claire on women's 2.
Give it up for Claire on boulder prop number 2 and Chloe on boulder prop number 1.
Looked like Claire was about to stick that with one hand for a moment.
Yeah. It seemed as though it seemed promising.
Boulder prop is going to test them a little bit differently, guys.
We have Chloe here going for a little bit different approach. Maybe a little bit more static, trying to work her way out across that 360 volume.
So some of these things are going to be skill-based. Some are just pure strength-based. Come on, Claire.
Wow.
The
Claire,
shoulders.
very strong. Very strong.
Stands up into the 15.
Wow, looking very confident. Wow.
And she got the match. Beautiful.
With authority.
First of the evening, I got chills.
One might describe that as straight nasty.
That's what they say here in Houston.
Nice work,
You
Claire.
know?
Take a rest.
I support that.
Let's give Chloe some attention and love over there on
So
problem
Chloe
number
again
one.
going with the somewhat static approach, trying to get as much.
Come on, Chloe.
There we go.
Come on, Chloe.
Wow. Look
Beautiful.
at that hand sticking out to steady the balance.
Here she goes, guys. Yes.
Well done. Seems like it's working out for her just
Yeah.
fine. Hopefully she keeps it together for this difficult match. That finish hold is nothing to hold on to.
Sees the toe hook.
Nice little toe hook.
There she goes with the toe hook and control. The crowd goes wild. Loving the action so far.
So congratulations, Houston.
All right, well, that means we've got about 2 minutes for people to rest, hang out before our next competitors go out. Women are making an excellent show so far, looking very confident, and that's our 8th and 7th place qualifiers, so there's no telling what's going to happen from here. It should be a very heated battle. There's kind of been some discussion about the top 3 tonight being Alex Puccio, Brooke Rabatou, and Kyra Condi, kind of duking it out, so to speak, but you know, it really still is anybody's game. Claire and Chloe looking so good on problems 1 and 2. I mean, there's really no telling.
Yeah, I mean, from what we saw last night in qualifiers, this one's going to be close. I think all of the women were climbing really well, really solid.
For the gentleman to come out.
So this is like being in timeout for the crowd. All right. I don't know what you guys did, but you're all in timeout for the next minute and 16 seconds. I want you to think about what you did and why you're in timeout right now.
You have 1 minute remaining.
Yeah, so in this next round we'll have Sam McQueen, right?
All right, for those of you at home, I want to dig in a little bit into this ladies field again, because obviously you've got the queen of American bouldering competition and perhaps just the queen of American climbing, Alex Puccio, who's known to be very dominant in these competitions. But yesterday, she qualified 3rd with Brooke Rabatou and Kyra Condi in 1st and 2nd qualifiers, who neither of which have secured the win at these Cup Series. And I know that those young ladies are so hungry for the win, and that they're looking for it tonight. They're really going to be trying to put on their best performance and kind of, you know, take that trophy from Alex. So I think there's going to be a lot of drama unfolding as the night goes on.
Time. Climbers may begin climbing now.
All right, we are back into the action here.
Now, Tim, could you tell me why he's doing janitorial work right now?
Well, I think what he's trying to do is brush those holes out, guys. These things are super small. They need to be brushed after every attempt.
All right, so we have
Sam's right behind
Sam
us.
pulling on to men's 2.
We should probably move.
Probably should move.
Looks like a
Nice. Give it up for Sam McQueen. Roll prop number 2.
Making it happen on men's 2. He's got a pretty good hold in his hands right now.
Prop number 1. Tear your eyes out your head.
And sort of a delicate finish ahead of him. Let's see how he handles it.
They're doing work. Come on, Sam.
Come on, Sam.
Do it, buddy. Come on.
He's looking for the match for full points. Wow, doesn't seem to be a problem.
Just like that.
Then Alex Fritz making his way through men's 1,
Over here on boulder prop number 1.
looking to put some points on the board.
We're really bad at this. Come on.
Alex Alex kind of feeling around on that 10 hold. Eyeing up the 15.
Oh, looking pretty
Solid.
comfortable on that 15 too.
Calmness and poise. He's just hanging out up there. I think he has snacks in that bag in the back.
I don't know if you can hear at home, our live announcer suggested that Alex is chilling, hanging out, and brought some snacks with him. He certainly looks comfortable enough to have a snack on that 15 hold.
Come on, Alex. Do you think you can stay up there for 2 minutes and 40 seconds?
Yeah, at least.
He's looking casual.
He looks committed. He's in it for the long run.
Come on, Alex.
And this looks like a little bit different of a sequence. Oh, wow.
Pressing into the finish hold.
A little more conservative approach seems to have served him well as he finishes, and all the excitement.
Excellent show.
Very nice.
These climbers are putting on a show for you, Houston.
Cool as a cucumber on that one, huh?
Yeah.
Just hanging out.
Nice work, Mr. Fritz.
He's the freeze.
He's the Fritz. We tried to distract him. For the women, we've got who's coming up next? CC Kopp will be coming up next, I believe. Claire will be
This
on
kind of started the
number
competition
3.
here. So, I mean, it really suggests the ability level of the crowd that we have here tonight in finals. They're really smashing through these first and second boulders. Even at the 7th and 8th place qualifying levels, don't seem to be having a problem with these. We have so many talented people out here in the field tonight.
So climbing, it's all about brute strength, right, Tim? As much as you can bench, the better climber that you are.
I basically don't leave the gym.
You're benching what, 900 these days? As you guys probably just saw on the men's problem number 1, there is so much technique and so much.
You have 1 minute remaining.
Till what? 1 minute till what?
So we got about 50 seconds till we get some more action.
Individual competitors,
It's really surprising.
right? We can't say
They
more
really
about
have not seemed to slow down at all, hardly, through these first and second boulders.
No, I mean, based on what we saw last night, the competitors who we've seen so far have kind of made a smooth transition from crushing last night, rolling into boulders tonight. You know, they're looking pretty solid.
There is Sienna Kopf. I think I heard some people calling her Cece. Looking very excited. Looked like she's having a good time, ready to get climbing.
All right, guys, we've got about 10 seconds until the ladies are around.
Brush in hand, ready to go.
Yep. You know, I think that's a method, that's a sign of a solid competitor when the first thing they do is size up the boulder, kind of try to remind themselves of what they saw during the preview, and take time, brush the holds. It can tell you a lot about what's going on with the boulder.
Who gave us a top out last time? Maybe she'll give us another one. I hope so.
Unless we forget Claire.
How could we forget Claire? No way.
Okay, so we have Chloe on women's too.
These ladies aren't wasting any time.
3 people to watch.
This makes me wish I had another eyeball.
Well, you do. And if you went to yoga, you
Looks like she read the move right. Just kind of came up a little bit short.
Action. Sports action.
Action Jackson.
Whoa. Quite the spill in women's 1, but looks like she's doing all right. Little foot slip.
So that foot, for the viewers at home, is actually dual tex. The center of it has texture, and there's about a half-inch border all around that's just like glass.
There goes Chloe,
Beautiful.
showing her strength there through that jump move. See how she does with this hand-foot match. Oh, not required.
So much bicep. So much strength.
Yeah, that was really kind of an insane maneuver that she just did. Very, very strong person. That one probably wore her out a good bit, but that's okay. 3 minutes left. Got some action on women's 3 by Claire Burfind. Looking pretty strong. Looks like if she controls that hold, she might have a good chance.
Yeah, it's interesting. Claire, on that go, sort of decided to see if she could just match on the 10, rather than, is the way I see it, I believe is a palm press. But she's super strong.
Sienna looking very comfortable on that lateral run across the volume. Not stressed at all about that. Not so much in the second section.
There we go. Chloe sticks to the dyno.
Crowd is helping her out here. Want to see a strong finish. That 15 hold is very bad. It's angled down slightly. It's not very positive. That one takes a lot of strength to deal with.
Could you tell me why
There we go. Cece sticking the move. The 15. Working out the finish. Nifty little mantle, pistol squat.
Oh, seems like she's found that toe hook in an easy match.
Psyched.
Sienna with a strong finish. And Claire establishing a high point on women's 3, but not quite making it.
So we got Chloe over here on boulder prop number 2. And Claire over on boulder prop number 3.
Her third of the night.
Just 30 seconds left here, so these competitors are looking to finish strong.
She wants that.
Chloe wants this top real bad.
Come on, Chloe.
Really fighting hard for this. And the crowd's behind her. Here she goes.
Come on, Claire.
10 seconds.
Just couldn't hold on.
Can't really ask for more effort than that. And that is time.
We got Sam on boulder problem number 3 and Alex Fritz on 2. And we've got a newcomer.
Drew Ruana, will be on men's problem number 1.
We've got Sam and Alex brushing up on men's 2 and 3. And then heading out onto the field right now is Drew Ruana getting started on men's number 1.
Drew wasting no time. Hopping right on, man. Looking pretty solid, real beautiful.
Kind of sticking the first difficult move there. Little frustration as he threw himself off the wall, basically. It looked like he had plenty of energy to spare. Now, the setters earlier were telling us that this move is designed to be a sort of a paddle dyno sort of situation on men's 2.
That's a move that Santa Claus uses a lot.
Sam on men's 3, looking for control on that 10 zone right there.
Come on, Sam.
I believe that's all that was for, right?
Correct.
Trying to put points on the board there initially. Alex doing well, high up on men's 2. Approaching this sort of technical balancy section.
Taking his time.
I just saw Alex Fritz shake out. He's shaking out, chalking up. He's got that bag of goodies behind him.
Just doing a casual lap is what he's doing. He's a casual lap.
Drew working through men's 1.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, Alex looking very comfortable as he approaches the finish hold. Men's 2 looking for that match. And there we have
Really good.
What do I see over here on 1?
it. Oh, and Drew taking the shoulder press method, which seemed to work pretty well for Alex. And of course, Drew does the same. These boys cannot be stopped.
He probably had 3 bowls of Wheaties today, I'm guessing. 2.5.
Sam working out men's 3. That start is certainly not easy. Pretty stressful on the shoulders. Definitely requires a lot of strength.
Little technical error there, little foot slip. These boulders, they're nefarious. They're not something where your strength can always serve you. A lot of the footholds, it seems like most of the footholds at this point, like gone are the days where it's just tiny positive holds. Instead, it's large features, terrible feet, things where you make the slightest imbalance or undercorrect or overcorrect and you're just off before you know it.
You have 1 minute remaining.
Come on, man. Plenty of time. 1 minute.
Yeah, he needs him. Asking for some love from the crowd. That really does go a long way.
Make it happen.
He's just hanging out, trying to look cool is what he's doing.
Nice, Sam.
Looking fairly solid. Establishing a new high point here.
Beautiful little drop knee there.
Well done. And there's control on zone 15, getting some more points on the board. Looking for that top. So smooth. The crowd is going wild for him right now.
Went for the top of the hold there.
Now that finish hold is a pocket, am I right?
It is a pocket.
So sort of just a misjudgment there on where to grab.
Yeah, you know, it happens. So the setters there, we're looking for a hole-in-one.
Natalia Grossman on problem number 1. You guys will recognize CC on problem number 2. Who do we have on problem number 3, Tim?
We got Chloe on boulder problem.
Ladies out here getting stoked, eyeing up the boulders, brushing them up, taking that first 30 seconds to kind of just get things sorted out.
So we got a full field out here, guys. All 4 boulder problems, rocking and rolling.
And that's Natalia Grossman getting started on women's 1.
Come on, Claire.
Claire working her way through women's 4.
Little shoulder action.
Incredible shoulder strength.
4. Flexing.
A lot of shoulder action, it looks like to me.
Crowd really getting behind Claire here, and she really seems like a very strong athlete. The way she jumps through some of these moves, it's impressive to watch.
Comfy as a couch.
Looks like everyone's sort of taking a moment to rest up, freshen up the forearms, the fingers, figure things out. 3 minutes left on the board, plenty of time. You can see Sienna over there on the right, just off the edge of your screen, getting started in women's 2. Went for the paddle, didn't quite make it. Natalia here trying to figure out this sort of lateral section, trying to decide if she wants to run across the volume or just kind of take the more static method.
Absolutely, and the choice that needs to be made there is, do you get to the hold and then control a lot of, or have to deal with a lot of momentum on the back end, or do you kind of try to sneak out there, kind of keep tension while you're walking through these volumes and sort of poke out? I think both of them are certainly doable, so she went for the static approach.
Seems like that method might seem a little more conservative, like you're kind of less surprising.
Right, I think it's a matter of style, for sure.
Yeah, and you'll see certain competitors who tend to kind of move quickly and run and jump more often, and then some who are more keen on being careful.
Yep.
All right, Chloe, come on.
These ladies are trying.
Chloe making a strong stick on women's 3, but
Taking balls.
not quite making it. Minute and 30 seconds left on the clock. Plenty of time for 1 or 2 more tries.
There goes Cece, sticking that move.
All right, Cece working her way through the 15, really digging into that right hand.
That last left hand and that last move looks so difficult to deal with. It's like a lot of these boulders, they're very technical, but some of them you just need strength. You just need raw, nasty strength. It's not as if that is just something of the past. Like, you still have to be an outrageously strong person to do these, and technical.
Absolutely.
Well, Natalia finishing women's 1, looking strong with 30 seconds left. We have Chloe looking for a top, not quite.
We got Claire.
Claire powering through on women's 4.
Claire, 20 seconds.
And that might be it for these ladies. Wow, Chloe's got 10 seconds left looking for the top. Excellent performance by all these ladies.
We got a newcomer for the men. We've got Clay Gordon on boulder front number 1. We've got Drew, Alex, and Sam out there as well.
Now it is back to the men. We have climbers on all 4 boulders. Clay Gordon is coming out onto the field on men's 1. And we'll get to see some new action on men's 4. As Sam McQueen sort of sizes it up and see what it's all about. Drew looking pretty strong on men's 2, sort of stopping halfway through the paddle dyno section, canvassing to the jug. We might be seeing a flash out of him right now.
It's his last one of the evening. He needs all the love he can get.
All sorts of sports action going on right now. I don't know where to look, man.
All right, well, Drew's about to flash men's 2. That's that. Sam getting very burly on men's 4, looking to campus his way through it. And almost did. No, Alex is the only man left on the wall. Here we have Clay Gordon. struggling to maintain that position on men's 1.
All right, Alex, come on, buddy. Taking their time, being strategic. Come on, Alex. Yeah.
Alex gaining that 15.
Come on, Alex.
Eyeing up the finish.
Now, did Alex do the same thing there and miss the pocket?
No, it looked, from my vantage point, he was aiming for the pocket. Just a little bit outside of it.
Sam headed back into men's 4.
Nice, Sam.
Reading this section correctly, the setters told us earlier that that's sort of designed to be a feet-first section there.
Come on, Sam. Yeah. Come on, man. Yes.
There he goes with control on 10, a new high point.
Nice. He's fighting. Last boulder drop of the night, guys.
Motoring through, come on.
Sam wants that top bad. This will be his last boulder of the night, so he's really looking to leave it all out there on the field and finish strong. Clay just getting started here.
Oh, we've seen a few guys through it.
Looking to get some points on the board.
Ricky. Nice.
With about 1 minute and 30 seconds left, plenty of time to make something happen. We've still got 3 climbers out on the field, looking for those last burns, looking for a top.
So Clay Gordon was on problem number 1.
You have 1 minute remaining.
A little bit about Clay. He made his first finals at the last competition at Mesa Rim. So give him some extra love. A little bit newer to the finals, so.
Nice play.
But looking strong.
Here we have Sam and Alex with 37 seconds left,
Qualifying for the finals, back-to-back competition.
looking to finish up.
Pretty amazing.
Yeah, this National Cup series. This
National Cup, no joke.
National Cup. Come on, Sam. Sam's got 20 seconds left on his last boulder problem at the National Cup.
This sequence just looks exhausting, doesn't it?
Come on, Sam.
He's
Sam,
fighting.
men's 4.
With Sam? Absolutely.
Come on, Alex. Come on.
Alex going for the top of the finish on men's 3 that time.
Time. Climbers may begin
That finish hold in men's 3 seems like it's going to be an issue. It's been so far, and it's like you're exhausted by then, you want to jump to the finish hold. It's a very powerful sequence there, and you've got to be accurate and stick that pocket.
Correct. I'm almost curious if the climbers realize that it's a pocket. So we have 3 of the same hold type throughout the boulder. But if you notice, I don't know if you guys will be able to see on stream, but those 3 holds are actually blocked by foot chips. So as the climbers are working through it, they're not recognizing and thinking pocket, pocket, pocket the whole time. Those pockets are actually blocked. The only one that's open is the finish. So I'm curious if kind of halfway through the boulder they forget.
So we got Michaela Kirschop here, fresh face, boulder prop number 1 for the women's.
Ladies motoring through these boulders. Natalia looking strong on a women's 2, looking for that top. Takes the heel hook beta and works it out. Very
Awesome.
excited.
Really good go.
She is obviously very happy about that, and she should be. She's got an extra 3 minutes and 30 seconds to rest now. I'm sure she'll enjoy that.
So we have Michaela Kirsch here on women's one. Just trying to sort of kind of find a comfy spot. She's sorting it out.
Wow, really working the flexibility on that beta there on women's one. Michaela Kirsch is such a well-rounded climber and certainly no stranger to high-level competition. She took second at the Ascend comp earlier this season, so she's one of those competitors who's kind of had a taste of the podium and is going to be looking for more tonight, so hopefully we see some excitement there.
Absolutely. I don't doubt for a second that Michaela won't turn it on. Very experienced competitive climber.
Over here on boulder column number 3. Give it up for her.
Looks like sort of a 1-2 situation on women's 3, sort of a dead point followed by a press immediately. And I think the setters mentioned that to us earlier, that you kind of pop to that right hand and then stab left with the palm.
Absolutely. As your momentum carries you through, essentially stick the palm out, lock your left arm out, try to kill as much of that momentum as possible, which allows you to continue to control the 10.
Both climbers setting out here. Having a tough time, maybe a little tired. There's only a minute left on the clock. Hopefully they can rest up and make a strong finish.
You have 1 minute remaining.
Michaela getting established on that arete for the first time. She's got 45 seconds left. Hopefully she can take it home right now.
Come on, Chloe. Come on, Chloe. Yeah. Big move.
Chloe trying hard on women's 4, but coming up just short. It's only 15 seconds left. That may be about it for these ladies.
10 seconds.
Michaela's hands go up, calling it.
Looks like all the ladies are calling it.
All right, we're back with the men. Nice job, ladies. Who's new out here?
Men are back up again. Once again, action on all 4 boulders now, and that'll be the case throughout the rest of the evening. We've got Nathaniel Coleman here. Pretty dominant competitor in seasons past.
Is that Nathaniel Coleman?
The Salt Lake man-child.
Aptly named, as I believe he won with authority every competition in the series last year.
He's gotten so famous, he's trying to hide from people.
We got Clay Gordon looking strong on men's 2.
This dude is making stuff look easy. He is fitness, Sam.
No problem. There he goes with the finish. Now, this is only Clay's second time in finals at this level of competition, so he's definitely looking to make a splash, make a name for himself, and kind of get used to what it means to be in front of all these people, in front of the lights, the audience, and kind of competing against a field like this, like Nathaniel Coleman, Matt Fultz.
New kids on the block, hanging tough, if that would inspire these gentlemen.
Seems to be handling it pretty well, though, I would say.
Yeah, he seemed to handle it pretty well on men's too.
Probably not. I'm saying no.
Hard pass. All right, Drew's pulling back on boulder problem number 3.
We have Drew Ruana getting started on men's 3. Sort of that tricky backwards mantle to get him set off. And here above Drew's head you can see those sort of volcano holds, which usually are pockets, but as Miles said, they've got jibs that are screwed onto the opening to close them off. And the finish hold is that same hold, but it doesn't have the jib screwed into it, so the finish hold is a pocket, and it may be throwing them off. We'll see how he handles it. Oh, it's not throwing him off.
There it is.
Yeah, he knows it too. Very happy about that. That's our first top.
Well done, sir.
Tell you what, man.
I'm gonna tell you what.
Nathaniel fighting his way through one.
Nice.
Kind of latching onto that jib that's screwed onto the fiberglass volume down there for the toe hook, helping him gain the 15.
Composed and gentle.
Composing himself there, calming it back down. He does not want to have to do this again.
Nice, Alex. Alex making a statement on this last boulder problem.
Oh, and Alex nearly establishing the high point for the night on men's 4. Looks like he's going to jump for it. There he goes.
Like he's done so many before. Nice work.
Another great example there with Nathaniel of the difference in beta between the sort of conservative and static method that the gentlemen earlier were doing with the shoulder press versus the sort of somewhat risky and faster paced jump moves. But if it's your style and you know you have it, you do it. It was interesting to talk to the setters earlier and to know that they do have an intended sequence, but it's not the end of the world if climbers break the sequence. It's not as if these boulders are supposed to be truly, you don't want to completely break it, but the setters know that some people will do it in a slightly different way, and they've already thought of that, and you see that show up in competition. So it's something the setters are thinking about in advance, knowing that these competitors have a really diverse bag of tricks.
Absolutely.
Fancy. So fancy. Come
It's
on,
campus
Alex.
sequence.
Last boulder problem here at the National Cup.
Motoring through.
Oh, seemed to power down
Here
there.
for Alex on boulder problem number 4.
Alex calling it quits. Now, Miles, I got to ask, as a setter, how often is it that finals come around and climbers come up with some completely outrageous beta that no one ever thought could happen?
Climbers may begin climbing now.
I wouldn't say common, but there are those times. You know, we try to run through as many possible versions or solutions to a problem that we can think of, especially when, like you just stated, the field has such a varying, kind of wide bag of tricks, and they're all very solid climbers in their specific style. Some of them are incredibly well-rounded. So we try to test as many possibilities, but there's always a way, you know?
Always a way. Look like we have Alex Puccio getting started on women's 1. We have Sienna and Michaela getting underway on women's 2 and women's 4. Sienna working hard on those slopers, controlling zone 5 on women's 4, but
Smooth jazz finals. Come on, Alex. Yeah.
Now, Alex being a Texan, certainly a lot of Alex fans in the house tonight.
Yeah, she seemed to be the crowd favorite by far. I mean, the crowd cheered for everyone, of course, but there was quite the uproar when Alex came out.
Absolutely.
And she kind of is a climbing hero, so she deserves it.
I think she's earned that.
And just like that,
Sienna looking for that right position to nail zone 5. Didn't quite make it.
come on.
Alex getting established on the arete. Looking for a finish from here. Let's see what she does.
Yeah.
Well, that's not the first time we've seen someone fall like that, or the second even. It's happened repeated times. That's a tricky transition around the corner.
Absolutely, and like I said earlier, the foot, it really forces you to dig in and trust that it's going to hold.
And that's the dual tax foot.
Absolutely.
And feels terrible.
Yep.
It feels like it's not going to hold.
Mm.
Yeah.
I'd say maybe a third of that hold is, of course, like your standard climbing hold. The rest of it is essentially glass.
Come on, Cece. Come on. Yeah.
Cece working hard on those slopers there, but getting powered down. 2 minutes left to go.
So Natalia's taking her
Alex
time
seems
on
to have
number 3,
worked
but
out that sort of transition for the arete.
her strategy worked because she took gold at the first comp of the season in Pittsburgh. That's Natalia over there on number 3. Also, Michaela took second at that same competition in Pittsburgh, so we got some.
I sort of have to check myself sometimes to not cheer for the competitors as if they can hear me.
It's hard.
Yeah, it's a different game up in the booth
Absolutely.
than down in the fray. But hopefully the crowd will do it for us.
I think they're doing a pretty good job.
Yeah, we have a large crowd here tonight. Really getting into the action, supporting these athletes. And the athletes doing their part as
Kayla
well.
just fighting on women's too right now. Beautiful.
That's what we came to see.
Cece making things happen on Bouldering.
Oh, look at Cece on women's 4, struggling to stick number 10. Michaela looking for that top on women's 2 with the heel hook beta. And there's the finish. The crowd goes wild.
One thing that's relatively new, guys, for the climbing competition.
Hopefully we can see a top here from Alex with 20 seconds left.
You take a look.
I'm definitely somewhat of a fanboy. I would want to see this top happen here. It's only 10 seconds. She really better move fast.
Come on, Alex.
Oh, that's that.
Give her a round of applause.
Time. Climbers may begin climbing now.
We've got some familiar faces. But we've got a new face on boulder problem number 1. Give it up for Matt Foltz.
Here we have Matt Foltz making his way out onto the field.
On 2. Not wasting any time, get right to it. Clay on 3. And Drew with an
Oh, you can see there Nathaniel Coleman on the sort of paddle dyno there. It's blocked. The final right hand around the corner is blocked on top, and he hit it. Sort of this exact thing that you have to watch out for. And we have Drew on the right, establishing a high point on men's 4 and finishing in excellent style. Look at that celebration.
Drew with the flash, huh?
Excellent job.
I think so. Matt working his way through men's 1. Nathaniel looking to finish his second boulder of the night. He looks pretty solid. There he goes. Very casual.
Matt making progress on one.
I predict a finish.
Opting to just dig in on the 15.
Come on, man.
He's going for it.
Come on. Yeah.
Yes. I award myself points for accurately predicting a finish.
Infamous men's boulder problem number 3. We got Clay.
That looks like a real shoulder destroyer on men's 3.
Absolutely. I'm curious if the chest in method is a little bit more physically taxing rather than facing the crowd. Most of the other competitors have opted for the face the crowd method.
And it was designed to be face out.
Correct.
Right.
Losing that shirt. Come on, Clay.
And that seems like the sort of thing that competition experience can give you, because it's not going to be your first choice to turn around backwards.
It's pretty unnatural.
I would basically never wind up turning around backwards, but when you're used to this environment and you know how kind of bizarre the positions can be, then you rule nothing out, and then you can read them correctly. But as Clay is fairly new to this competition scene, maybe that plays into it, that experience.
Right. I'm curious if he'll maybe try to change it up, test it out, or if he's just going to try to power through it.
Looking back at that clock, he's got about a minute left.
You have 1 minute remaining.
Super tactical.
He's our only competitor on the field.
These guys want to win.
Looks like he's going to be sticking with that
Sometimes
conventional
it's more
method.
than just climbing. Sometimes you got to be very tactical with your attempts.
Wow.
So Clay's got about 40 seconds left.
Very impressive.
That means you guys have 40 seconds to snap a picture of that back.
Now, getting out of the position he's in right now,
Come on, Clay.
Just a little foot pop there at the end.
Clay, guys.
too much. It really looks like spinning around backwards is the way to go. That does it for the men's round. Ladies on standby until that clock goes. Brush is ready.
Time. Climbers may begin climbing now.
And here's our scoreboard.
We got another new face on bullet
It
drop
switched
number one.
quickly,
Ladies
but
and gentlemen, we've got
Claire
Brooke
Burfine is in first place right now for the women.
Team ABC.
And Drew is in first place
ABC.
with a near perfect performance, flashing 2 of the boulders and doing 2 of them second try. So that's
On boulder drama number 2.
excellent performance so far by Drew.
First to pull on. Let's see what she does. Come on, Alex. Nice, Natalia.
Natalia looking pretty solid on women's 4. Alex working things out on women's 2.
Come on, Alex.
Lots of action.
Come on,
Alex really showing her strength right now on women's 2, easily navigating that side pull.
Brooke crushing on the complexity of bullet drop number 1. We've seen it. Yeah, here she goes.
Here we have Michaela setting out a women's 3. That looks like quite the reach for her.
Come on, Brooke. Oh.
And here we have Brooke Rabatou on women's 1, her first boulder of the night.
Who wants to see Michaela send boulder round number 3?
Brooke opting for the more dynamic version.
Come on, Michaela.
And pretty smoothly. She seemed pretty comfortable with that kind of action there.
Come on, Brooke.
Looking very composed as she looks for this arete turn.
Let's go, Michaela. Oh, you're back.
Here we have Natalia
Natalia's on her last
looking
row,
for the
looking
first
strong.
top on women's 4.
Strong.
Hopefully she can make that happen.
Very strong hand, Natalia. Come
Oh,
on.
coming up slightly short but staying on the wall. Even shaking out slightly.
Come on, Brooke.
With a minute and 30 seconds left on the clock, hopefully these ladies can
Warming up.
take it home.
Goes on boulder round number 1.
These are what's called sended braids. Those are called sended braids.
Sending braids.
Brooke going double clutch.
Sending
Taking a little bit different of a method there.
Come on, Brooke.
All that's left is this tricky match.
Nice and easy.
And nice and easy, she finishes up. Very happy with that.
You have 1 minute remaining.
I said it before, I want to see Michaela Kirsch, Sam Boulder round number 3. Come on, Michaela.
Great performance by Brooke on women's 1.
Absolutely. Brooke is a very experienced youth climber. She's seen a lot of those moves in the past.
And she's certainly no stranger to jumping. She's not the tallest person in the world, so in order to be successful, you really have to be willing to get dynamic.
Absolutely.
Matt, not only did they have to climb tonight, they climbed yesterday in the qualifying round.
It's like they have strength and endurance.
It's weird.
Our live announcer here right now is commenting on the fact that all of these competitors are second day on, and I agree. I'm always surprised at their ability to perform at this level second day on. It's so common out at the crag or boulders. You hear it as a complaint, oh, I'm tired, I'm second day on. But in basically all of the competition scene anywhere, they always have qualifiers the day before, which is not an easy day to have. And then they have to recover and then win a competition the next day. These really are top-notch athletes here.
Right, and the route setters take that into account. They know that these climbers are exhausted.
Welcome on in, Ross.
Doing a little fingering in his head. He's like, you fixing to do this? And his brain is like, I'm fixing to do this.
Yeah, Ross.
Looks like Clay Gordon headed up men's 4 over there. Matt looking for the flash on men's 2.
Coleman, one of the few shirtless or shirted men out there on Boulder Run.
And here we have Ross Fulkerson, our second place qualifier.
There he is. That's what they call one in. Back abs. How do you get back abs, man?
All these men looking very solid. So much action underway. I don't know which way to call it. Matt taking a little bit different of an approach on men's 2 here, but looking to finish strong. And there you have it, Matt Foltz on men's 2.
And we have Nathaniel making headway on men's 3.
Nathaniel, shoot for the send-off, goal crowd number 3. Remember,
Wow, Ross seeming to be in a very restful position there.
Inevitably where they place,
Nathaniel approaching the top of men's 3. If anybody could do it, I would put my money on him. Looking fairly comfortable. Oh, wow. Yeah, fairly casual finish there by Nathaniel Coleman on men's 3.
Number 3.
I'm digital pen pals with lots of these guys, meaning I stalk them on Instagram. And they do some pretty rad stuff.
Ross really taking his time. Oh, and coming up just short. Looking a little disappointed there, but that's okay. There's 2 minutes left to go. Plenty of time. Ross and Clay both hanging out, resting up, brushing up a little bit. Clay setting out once again on men's 4. Really fighting hard there. Maybe a bit powered down. And Ross has 50 seconds left.
Ross has been doing well at some of the other cup finals.
To rest. Come on, Ross.
He's got a second place and a third place finish this year. Looking to do a little bit more and a little bit better.
Clay getting one last burn here. Men's 4 with 20 seconds left.
Clay hanging out on boulder crowd number 4.
Such a powerful sequence there.
That's 10 seconds. Nice and slow, you got 10 seconds.
Ross has got just enough time. Oh, he maybe just rushed it when he heard that timer.
Time. Climbers may begin climbing now.
No, I've never been good at math, but I think number 1's the lowest that we go in this. Paraclimbing placed number 1 in qualifiers last night. She is out on boulder crowd number 1. We have the top 3 female competitors on the wall.
All the ladies here sort of getting things sorted out. And once again, we have the scorecard up. Natalia Grossman is now in the lead, just ahead of Claire Burfind. Looks like it's going to be a close race. And then, of course, our first place qualifier looking to shake things up as well. Here we have Kyra Condi.
Kyra's looking for her first ever finals first place.
Kyra is certainly looking for the flash here, having navigated the tricky intro, and does not seem to have a problem with his finish. Yeah, she's very pleased with herself, obviously. That was an excellent performance. Very confident. Here we have Michaela on the left with what looks like a new high point on women's 4, maybe by just one hold. But doing very well nonetheless. And then Brooke on women's 2 looking to navigate that sort of jump section.
Brooke on number 2 is also looking for her first place finish in the Nationals final tonight.
Alex working through women's 3.
Come on, Alex.
Hopefully we'll get to see a top from her. The first on women's 3.
Problem number 3 that Alex is working on looks pretty brutal over there. Nobody has sent it yet.
All these ladies taking their time to work things out. Brooke setting off once again. Coming up a little short, kind of looking to match that sloper hold that looks pretty difficult to match without having the number 10 hold in your hand.
Alex has more wins than I can count on one of my hands, which is a lot.
Yeah, like
We expect big things.
big thing.
Now I can see Alex faring pretty well on women's 3. When we previewed it, I thought this one would be a nice one for her.
We could probably
Proving to be a little bit tricky.
if she sends it.
Michaela fighting through women's 4.
Come on. Creeping up the wall. Kayla Kirchhoff, round number 4, ladies and gentlemen. These guys are getting
Michaela having a tough time there, but still making it higher than any of our competitors so far.
Give them some love, give them some energy.
And here we have Brooke trying to make her way through this initial sequence, spinning off that hold. With only a minute left, they'll have to act quickly if they want to work something out.
So they've got about a minute left.
You have 1 minute remaining.
And again, they're being tactical, taking their time, making each effort count. You guys take a look at the scoreboard, they get points. We also track their attempts.
All right, it looks like Alex is gearing up
Let's get
for
it
women's
through
3.
this. Come on, Brooke.
Very powerful move. Alex's experience
Plenty of time.
on the World
30
Cup
seconds.
circuit, she's certainly seen this type of boulder.
Let's go, Alex. Come on, make it good.
Oh, so close.
So close. 20 seconds left.
We've seen that exact same thing happen many times tonight, where they almost stick that match and then kind of peel
Come
out.
on, Michaela. 10 seconds.
10 seconds.
Michaela is our last hope here, and that'll do it. That's time. Women's 3, women's 4 specifically look like a lot to handle. Haven't seen a top on either of those so far.
Over in Europe.
Europe, huh?
They
A
were
lot of
running-
power,
Is that a
power-based certainly. More so sustained power on women's 4. A little bit more of a dynamic coordination focus on women's 3, but certainly still very powerful.
Here we have Gregor Vezanik on men's 1. He is a Slovenian World Cup competitor and laid down an absolutely dominant performance in qualifiers yesterday, flashing every boulder except for 2, of which he had to try twice only. So definitely expecting big things from Gregor tonight. And to upset Drew, who's got nearly a perfect score, Gregor's going to have to do something outrageous by nearly flashing every boulder if he wants to get ahead of Drew. So we'll see what happens.
So Gregor is from
Ross here finishing up men's 2.
rumor that he swam here.
Pretty casual. And Gregor did fall on men's 1, was looking for that flash, but
Yesterday during
didn't quite make it.
qualifying, Gregor was the first person to turn in his scorecard. He did
And again, just to have an idea of what the leaderboard is looking like, Drew flashed 2 of them and did the other 2 second try. So a perfect score would be 100, and I believe Drew is holding a score of 99.8. So any competitor that wants to beat him, and I think Gregor's the only one that has a chance of doing so at this point, has to climb nearly perfectly. So we'll see what happens.
Matt's a real good guy. I've been in climbing in a gym with him before, and he'll give you a smile, he'll give you beta,
High five.
he'll probably even give you a bite of his split bar. I don't know. He's just a good guy.
All around.
And strong.
Matt Foltz looking pretty solid on men's 3. Hopefully he sticks that pocket there. The crowd's getting behind him here as he goes. Oh, not a problem.
Beautiful.
Really showing his strength there.
Absolutely. Gregor working his way through men's 1.
Come on, Gregor.
Nathaniel in his free time likes to hang out in the
Looks like he's going to go for the jump. He's the way he's eyeing that up.
to frustrate every other human climber.
Nope, seems to have changed his mind.
Looks like he's digging his index finger into that
Wow.
screw hole.
Had a brief no hands there.
Just chilling out.
Style and grace is what I like to say.
He's a double threat.
Wow. That's one way to do it.
Outside the box.
Doing it totally different. Well done, Gregor. Well done, sir.
That is one way to do it. Get the job done.
Come on, Nathaniel.
Showing the experience there.
Nathaniel, give us some.
Come on, ladies and gentlemen, this is Nathaniel Coleman. He's got 1 minute left. Bayou City Classic, Nationals Cup Finals, Natty Light.
Nathaniel Coleman with under a minute. Looking to finish strong on his last boulder of the evening.
So that's a great shot right there. These holds on the underside of them are actually dual techs on the U-shaped holds. So the thumb catches, you're not really able to dig in with your thumbs. As you saw there, some sort of slipped off. So it's not like a typical pinch where you have you can create friction through compression. So really kind of interesting.
Yeah, basically just a sloping dish there.
10 seconds.
Absolutely.
Come on, Nathaniel.
Only 5 seconds left. Looks like it's the round. The ladies are already getting ready. Alex looking focused, brush in hand, as the next round kicks off. Ladies scoping things out. Kyra Condi looking hard at women's 2. She got a flash on women's 1. I'm sure she's looking to follow that up with another one. Looking forward to seeing what our first place qualifier can do here.
Probably some of the 3 strongest women climbers in the U.S.
It's arguable.
It is arguable.
We can argue about it.
We'll take it home and fight.
We can fight. Let's see Alex Puccio send boulder round number 4. Look at that.
Alex showing off the shoulder strength.
Come on, Alex.
Yeah, looking very solid.
Absolutely. I have to say, if there's a boulder on the wall
It's this boulder problem.
that's made for her, certainly this one looks like it. A lot of power.
Come on.
Yeah, there you go. Really
Super
showing it off
control.
there. Maybe got a little too stretched out.
Went for the little bump. Brooks sort of sizing up women's 3. She's tested the kind of most obvious way. I think she's maybe sorting out, trying to see if there's a lower option for her. One of the great things about the way Brooke climbs is that she finds those outs in kind of an interesting way. Being a little bit smaller than a lot of the other competitors, she's very good at that.
Well, let's see what she does here.
I thought my mom was texting me, telling me to come home real quick. I think we all just checked ourselves.
I can't imagine any sort of unconventional beta going down in that boulder. Of course, you know, these competitors surprise me time after time, but I can't imagine what else you would do besides go to 10.
It seems as though on that one they didn't leave very many options, which is their job. Kyra working through women's 2.
Wow. Came up a little bit short with the momentum there and nearly just did a one arm to make up for it.
Which is impressive because that left hand is not good for a reason. They don't want the competitors to be able to hold on to just that one.
Alex requesting some support from the crowd here. She's really looking to end strong on women's 4. Climbing a little faster here. It's a great angle here. Opting for the hand heel match now. Looking for that new high point. Oh, not quite control. And running out of time.
Minute 20 seconds left. Plenty of time.
Kyra really spending some time on that first hold on the volume, brushing it off, any little edge.
Let's go, Brooke.
1 minute remaining.
Let's go, Brooke.
Kyra's in a tough spot on women's 2 with only 47 seconds left. If she wants to finish the boulder, she'll probably have to do it first try after sticking this move. May not be in the cards.
Come on, Kyra. 30 seconds left. Come on, Alex.
Alex going for one last try on her last boulder of the night.
About 10 seconds left here.
At this point, she doesn't really need to save anything. She can give
No,
everything
not
she's
at all.
got.
Give it up for the
Not quite. Not quite what Alex was looking for.
Some extra love right there. Thank you for the good show. It's sick.
I think Mr. Greger.
On the leaderboard here, we have Natalia Grossman in first place.
You would be correct.
We've got Matt False.
Claire Burfine pretty close, but they're both done climbing. And then again, I was right about that with Drew Ruana.
The top 3 male competitors, guys. Give it up for them. Top 3 male competitors in the Bayou City National. You want to see what good rock climbing
Gregor on
looks
men's
like?
2. This is a really interesting one to watch.
This is very important for Gregor. If he's looking for a win, once again, he's looking for basically a perfect performance.
Gregor making it look easy over there on number 2.
And he might give it to us looking strong on men's 2. This is exactly the kind of drama that we want to happen. You have that sort of photo finish.
Extra laps on that one.
And we might get it. Matt Foltz on men's 4.
Let's go, folks.
Come on, Matty, go.
Matt and Folks.
Oh, looking pretty strong there.
Come on, man. Let's finish it.
Looking for the top.
Come on. Get him up the wall. Yeah.
Just short.
Wishing that
Ross Fulkerson heading out on men's 3. Getting that knee involved.
I personally can only rely on Joe.
A lot of
Wow.
stress on the shoulder.
The shoulder, outrageous.
But it pays off because now he's in a comfortable position. He gets to try to get a little bit back.
Yeah, and the shoulder thing didn't seem to bother him that much, honestly. By the look on his face, he looks pretty comfortable.
There's a deep fire in red. Let's get him on the wall, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go, Ross.
Crowd is helping him out right now. He's the only competitor left on the wall with 2.5 minutes remaining. Looking for a strong finish on men's 3.
He's taking his time. He's a veteran. Second and third place finishes. Knows what it takes. He's going to be patient. Come on, Ross. Turn it on.
Wow.
Turn it on. Let's go, buddy.
I don't know what those holds are like, but I haven't seen anybody else chalk up there yet. Oh,
You can see the
maybe a mistake.
right there. He thought he had it.
Just barely missing that pocket.
Plenty of time left.
That hurts.
50 seconds.
But now he knows what it takes to stick that final move. I'm betting 27 cents he gets it.
I think he might.
I'll round up to 30. I'm going to get crazy here. 30 cents.
Tactics might have to change just a bit.
Tactics, technique,
Technique,
the actual move that he's going to perform.
essential,
The essential oil.
all of them.
Yeah.
Folks pulling on. Come on, Matt.
Little over a minute left here. It's Matt Foltz looks
Matt's
to navigate these toe hooks.
Yeah, struggling to get that toe up. It's a lot of core.
You have 1 minute remaining.
And it's late in the night on men's 4. There's a lot of climbing that's been done up to this point. And we are nearing the end of the competition with, I believe, only 2 rounds left.
Let's go, Ross. Look at this guy move. Come on, Ross. "20 seconds left.
Ten seconds.
10 seconds left. Matt Foltz making a last-ditch effort here.
Looks like he's going for the Hail Mary. Unfortunately.
Looks like Matt needed to get that left hand off of the start hold and sort of fall into that small screw on in order to make those toe hooks happen.
Right, so I think he was, I would assume, based on what I saw during our preview, the start hold is quite comfortable. And with Matt being the size that he is, oftentimes, he might, he was probably assuming that he would be able to stretch out and get that toe locked in without having to come
Wow.
into a beautiful move.
Sorry to interrupt. Kyra making a very strong performance starting women's 3. Maybe the kind of performance that could turn this competition on its head.
Let's go, Kyra. Look at that work.
I feel like Kyra has a distinct way of moving. She moves very fast and confidently. She does not hesitate, and it really is paying off right now as she, oh my goodness, finishes in a dazzling style, and the crowd goes wild.
Awesome.
With plenty of time to spare, Kyra Condi may be turning this night on its head.
That was something by Kyra.
This is turning out to be an exciting night between Kyra kind of charging at that first place position and Gregor doing the same thing, requiring basically a perfect night of climbing. We have some drama on our hands.
Absolutely.
That's what we came for.
It's awesome. Texas.
That's what Texas will give you. Bayou City Classic.
And this is the pressure that I'm talking about.
Setting the standard, setting the bar high, right? Let's go, Brooke.
Now Brooke opting for the left heel there as opposed to a toe hook maybe makes her feel a little bit secure, but also a little bit shorter at that point, right? If she's able to set the toe, she might be able to gain that inch or two.
Yeah,
to stretch out.
The low toe hook under that low volume.
Absolutely,
yeah.
under the roof.
You know what they say, Miles? Change the heel to a toe, send next go.
Is that what they say?
They do. I've heard it once or twice.
Well, they smart.
I agree. Brooke is our only competitor left in the field. Looking for a strong finish on women's four. Crowd really getting behind her here as she approaches this crux section.
Shine a couple different things. She's got time.
Got about a minute left. Enough time for a try or two. Brooke opting to sort of rest up, size up the boulder a little bit. Put in that really good last burn. Hopefully make something happen.
Well, I mean, do they want more prizes? Do you guys want more prizes?
I mean, we have this box of stuff.
Our live MC is goading our live crowd with prizes.
You guys want more prizes? You want to see Brooke set his climb? Come on, Brooke.
Oh, Brooke powering down, hands are up. And that is the night for Brooke Rabatou.
You're going to see the top two male competitors.
10 seconds. Time. Climbers may begin climbing now.
All right, so these are the last two male competitors here on the field right now. And my math previously was right. Gregor is the only man that has a chance of upsetting the current first place holder, so he's under a lot of pressure. I'm not sure if he knows.
He seems pretty calm. He seems
Yeah.
relaxed. He's not rushing it, you know. He's kind of taking a second to tie it up.
And that, I believe they don't see the scoreboard, and of course they haven't seen the other people climbing, so I don't think that he knows.
Correct. All they really have to go off of is crowd reaction.
And now that was an attempt, Miles, is that right?
That is an attempt.
Lots of time on the board. These climbers looking very focused.
Yeah, Gregor. Come on, man.
Gregor looking pretty steady. Here we have it. Moment of truth, Miles. Barely sticking that pocket. So exciting. Nearly missing it. So I believe that's a score of 24.9.
That was his second go.
Yeah.
I believe you're right.
Well done, Gregor.
Which means if he flashes the last boulder, that's an exact tie with Drew, I think. And I don't know what the protocol is for handling exact ties. Ross Fulkerson with 2 minutes on the clock. Looks like he's changing up the shoes. Something more favorable for those toe hooks.
Is that a shoe switch? Rush switching his shoes? This is getting technical. Precisely calculated. A minute 35 seconds.
Changing up the shoes, resting up. Plenty of time to spare with a minute 30 on the clock. And he's off.
You have 1 minute remaining.
Let's go, give it up to round number 4. Try to sing.
All right, so it seems as though the shoe change might have helped him out.
Worked out. Shoes do matter. Our crowd is getting behind him. Oh. 40 seconds left on Na Zhao. The hands go up. He's calling it. That's the night for Ross. Now we got a 30-second break, and I believe Kyra Condi is going to be on the field by herself.
The top female competitor, Kyra Condi, on boulder problem number 4 for the women. This thing hasn't seen a top.
10
Let's
seconds.
try and get her to the top of the wall. She's got 5 seconds.
I'm sizing up this scoreboard here, doing my math, making sure I've got a handle on this.
Climbing now.
Let's go, Kyra. Taking your time.
Okay, it looks like Kyra is ready to have her first attempt on women's 4.
Come on. First go on boulder problem number 4 for the women's, Kyra Condi.
Locks those toe hooks in insanely quickly.
Come on, Kyra. Yeah.
If Kyra can get a top on this, I think it's going to change the leaderboard quite a bit.
Let's go.
She did not fare so well on women's 2, but if she can turn that around here on women's 4, I think it's going to be an upset. Yeah, I'm checking the leaderboard right now, and none of the ladies have shown control over hold 15, or zone 15, rather. So even if she controls zone 15, I think that's going to change the state of the leaderboard quite a bit and put her into the lead. Of Of course, she doesn't exactly know this. She just knows that she needs to do her best and climb hard and focus, which is what she should be doing. With 3 minutes left, hopefully we can see her do what she has to do.
Let's go, crowd. Give her some love. She's checking the time. Come on, Kyra. 2 minutes and 40 seconds.
Kyra with 2 minutes and 30 seconds left on the clock. Crowd really getting behind her here, as am I. Really looking to see control of hold 15 here.
Sort it out. Come on.
Oh my goodness, exactly what we came to see.
Let's go.
That is points on the board, Miles.
She's not done yet.
No, she's not done yet. Kyra is psyched.
She's got time. And now she has knowledge.
It's dangerous.
Time and knowledge can be dangerous.
Can be.
And don't forget the braids, the sending braids.
I really appreciate how this sort of situation we're in shines a bright light on the effectiveness of the scoring format right now, where it's sort of a diverse array of different high points and attempts to create a sort of a very specific score with, you know, tenths of a point coming into play.
Absolutely. You know, the goal here is to find the best climber overall on that night. And the scoring system that's in place has done a pretty good job of doing that tonight.
I think Kyra may have just proven that she's the best climber tonight.
Let's go, Kyra.
Of course, that's not an official statement. I'm sort of doing on-the-fly math, but from where I see it, controlling hold 15 is all she needed to do. We'll see on the leaderboard. We'll find out. Great job by Kyra Condi.
It's nice to see all the competitors congratulating her.
Nice work. Ladies and gentlemen,
10 seconds.
the men's competition is nails close. And we've got Gregor up on boulder prop number 4.
Time.
Yeah, that's truly awesome to see. I wonder if they all know.
Over here on the south side of the building.
It must be an awesome experience to kind of be in it together in finals, kind of shared trauma, shared stress.
It's kind of the beauty of the sport, not just competition climbing, you know? Everybody's there just to try hard.
No doubt.
Let's help you get over the top of this wall.
All right.
Let's go, Gregor.
Gregor needs the help of the crowd right now. Not only needs to send, but needs to flash. Let's see what happens.
Come on, Gregor.
Opting for the campus.
How about you one in there?
Trying so hard.
Come on.
So much focus. The crowd really getting behind him right now.
Yeah. I think he wants
Really having to check myself right now to keep from screaming.
He's rock climbing. He wants it.
Come on, Gregor.
Can he do it?
Oh my
Gregor with the
goodness, the
flash.
crowd goes crazy. The crowd goes crazy, and so does Gregor. That is the drama. That is the Bouldering National Cup Series. That is why we are all here. That's why we come out. That's what makes this an exciting event. Gregor is so excited. What a competition. Look at that smile on that man's face.
There's a rumble in the parking lot with all the competitors.
It was really awesome to watch. There was a moment in the boulder where you could tell there was an internal battle where he had to decide, do I go foot first? or do I just campus through this? And he opted for the campus, which takes a lot of confidence.
That was a serious game face, and there was that moment when he almost spun off.
Absolutely.
Like, in a different situation, he would have spun off, but that was the serious game face.
Really, really impressive. What an awesome finish, man.
Awesome finish. That is exactly what we want to see. The crowd definitely got what they were looking for. Now all of our climbers are done. There's a preliminary period where they review the scores. Is that right?
Correct.
And that'll be 10 minutes?
10 minutes.
I believe.
10 minutes.
And then we'll do podium. Now, we have unofficial scores here showing Kyra Condi in first place because of her 15-point score on problem 4, taking her into the lead. So once again, these will be subject to review, but pending any changes, we have Kyra in first place, Natalia Grossman in second, and Claire Burfind in third place. Oh, then what an interesting and awesome thing to see, a perfect tie with the first and second place between Gregor Vezenik and Drew Ruana. Yeah, as things go on, the judges are going to review these scores. There is a system in place to determine, I don't know if they go back to qualifiers or by what manner they break the tie, but it's my understanding that they don't leave it as a tie. A winner will be determined by the judges, so we'll just have to see.
Absolutely. We'll let them sort it out, and as soon as we find out what the next step is, we will pass that on to all of our viewers.
I still can't believe, you know, Drew delivered such a excellent performance, and in his position, he didn't know what the other climbers' scores were, but he certainly knew that he'd be hard to beat. I'm sure he believed that he may have had it in the bag, and for Gregor to deliver in the clutch in the manner that he did is just amazing. And unlikely and exciting and amazing. I mean,
yeah,
it's
for sure.
I don't have the words.
Yep, Drew crushed it. I guarantee you he was feeling pretty good, but he knows just as well as everybody else who was here at qualifiers yesterday that Gregor came to play.
10 seconds.
So we just heard that in the event of an exact tie, we do go back to qualifiers yesterday, where, as I stated earlier, Gregor put on an outstanding performance, nearly flashing all of the 10 boulders in his category. And I do believe that's going to put Gregor in the lead and give him the win based on his performance in qualifiers.
Yep. Yeah, he qualified in the pole position, first place for finals.
Yep.
So he's taking it home.
Taking it home, which is exciting. It's got to be tough for Drew, having delivered such a world-class and stellar performance tonight, to have barely missed the first place position. I'm sure he's going to be so hungry for more going into the future, looking to sort of get on top next time around at the Battle for the Fort, the last event in the series coming up in December.
Absolutely, that'll be really interesting, man. You know, maybe this kind of lights a fire. I know Drew always sort of has that fire. It's just one of those sort of close calls, you know.
Yeah, I suppose that's the way the game works. It's the excitement, you know. These guys are no stranger to how things go, and if it wasn't for the drama, it wouldn't be the same anyway. So, you know, it stings a little bit, but kind of adds to the overall experience over the course of a competitive career. Our crowd here is dispersing a little bit, grabbing some more beers, milling around, hanging out, sort of debriefing, stretching out from all that excitement. We got a few people climbing around the house.
All the athletes, we will bring you back up at 8 o'clock for awards.
So once again, for the viewers back at home, this competition is not a one-off competition. It's a series. The Bouldering National Cup series is 4 events, of which this is the 3rd. The 4th event is coming up on December 15th in Fort Collins, Colorado at Ascent Studio Climbing and Fitness. And that event is called the Battle for the Fort. Points gained at every one of these competitions accumulate for an overall series score. So they are winning. There's a cash purse at every event. First place is taking home $1,500 at every one, but they're also accruing points for the overall series, which transfer into Bouldering Open Nationals as the sort of capstone event, number 5, where they will be awarded a series overall winner as well. So, you can have a near miss at one competition or maybe a off day here and there, but if you're consistent and they're showing up to these competitions, it's kind of a bigger picture. So really, this is just kind of lighting the fire. These guys are going to take this night. It's less than a month until December 15th, where they have to get back into the same situation again. Qualifiers all over again, looking for that cash purse, looking to accumulate more points leading into Bouldering Open Nationals in February.
Yeah, so one of the interesting things with this format is in previous seasons until this format, the competitors didn't necessarily get to see their competition this frequently. So when they walked into a national event, they didn't know who was feeling strong, who was climbing well, who's been training hard. All they could do was kind of sit at home, Rocky style, train, prepare themselves as best as possible, and then kind of show up ready to go. So I think the climbers have a little bit more of an insight on the field and their competition leading up to the big show.
And it's more of a season now, I suppose, whereas previously it's not exactly a competition season the way that it is in like World Cup and European style. We've kind of adopted a sort of season of our own and more of a cohesive bit of time.
Absolutely. So you can have the competitors who, like you said, just maintain consistency throughout the season, kind of build up the confidence, build up the repertoire of climbs, and sort of are ready to go at the end. You don't necessarily have to win every event.
Yeah, because we see competitors that will come and win one event but not necessarily attend other events.
For sure.
So if you're coming in, if you can consistently podium or even get close, maybe even have a competition or two where you're not podiuming. I'm not sure if podiuming is a word, but making it on podium. Then as long as you're consistent, you can still show up and get points on the board and potentially win the whole thing overall. So it definitely rewards that sort of consistency.
Right. So I believe the term in Houston, Texas here at Momentum Silver Street is jump boxing.
That's what happens when you get on that thing.
Absolutely.
So, well, let's use it. Let's put it this first place on the jump box. Let's see if we can make it flow.
I dig it.
We'll do our best. That's all we can do, right?
You got to try,
We doing it. this National Cup series, as they've adopted it to make it into sort of a season, it's actually starting to attract a bit of an international crowd, and you can see that with Gregor's attendance here. We actually have our own competition season. More money is on the line, more competition, more esteem, so to speak, and there's just a lot more action to be had. So somebody like Gregor, all the way from Slovenia, a World Cup competitor, has a reason to come over here to participate in these events, which is cool that American competition climbing is really evolving, becoming quite a force of its own.
Absolutely. The quality of competitor, the quality of the route setting, the events. It's really nice to see these top level, really high end international athletes here. And that goes to show that USA Climbing is certainly pushing the sport further as far as competition goes.
And it's also my understanding that in the U.S. is one of the only countries where they allow competitors from any nationality to come in and participate in their national level events. And you don't have to be a U.S. citizen or a member of this organization to come in here and win. If you show up from basically anywhere and you climb better than anyone, you win no matter what.
Yep, best climber wins.
And
that's all that matters.
Somewhat unique thing in the sort of international climbing field.
Absolutely.
Yeah, well, I would love to have a U.S. boy take home the win, but I love that the field is open for someone like Gregor to come in and put on a show like that, and obviously he deserves to win. There's no reason that someone like that shouldn't come in here and be able to participate and be able to win.
For sure, I think it pushes the sport further when you start mixing styles and different climbers and skill sets. The competitors get to maybe see a different kind of style of climber from the international crowd, or the route setters see how an international climber views their boulders or reads their boulders or attempts to solve their puzzles, and that can only grow the sport. As much transfer as information as possible, I think we'll all benefit from it.
Yeah, of course. And it may sting on the front end when a Slovenian super crusher comes in and beats you in your home turf, but ultimately it's going to teach you more. Being exposed to that level of talent from all over the world is going to not only benefit the organization, benefit the sport, but benefit the individual competitors by being face-to-face with the best in the world.
For sure.
Clay Gordon, where are you? Clay Gordon! Come get some money, honey! Put your hands together for Clay Gordon.
Clay Gordon just came out, finishing in 8th place.
Victory runs in the family. His dad is Jeff Gordon.
I believe that gives him $100 to take home. Everyone in finals is taking home cash tonight.
7th place, Sam McQueen.
Okay, it looks like in 7th place we have Sam McQueen.
Yeah, Sam. Write the man a check. Write the man a check.
He'll be taking home a check for
In
$200.
6th place, Ross Fulkerson.
And in 6th place we have Ross Fulkerson
Well done, sir. Well
taking
done,
home $300
sir.
cold hard cash.
In 5th place, we've got Alex Fritz.
5th place we have Alex Fritz.
I think, Alex, you were the one eating strawberries from your chop bag, right? Yeah, okay.
Now it looks like Alex has taken home 500 buckaroos for this one. I'm sorry, 400.
4th place, born and inbred in Utah, Nathaniel Coleman. Where is he? That's where Nathaniel.
Here comes Nathaniel Coleman in 4th place.
Now we got the podium finishers. The
taking home $500.
Is that true?
And that brings us to the jump boxers,
Yeah.
first, second, and third.
I said his last name wrong, Matt Bolt. I'm sorry. He'll kill me in the parking lot later. Why do you think he drives a van? Second place men, Drew Ruana.
Matt Foltz bringing in third place.
And there we've got Drew Ruana in second place, barely. I think we're going to see great things from Drew in the future.
Absolutely.
Drew's taking home big money with $1,200.
Killing it tonight from Slovenia, Gregor Vizonik.
And the man of the night, Gregor Vizonik. It's a really, really, really impressive performance from that man. He's still chalked up. He's ready to go.
Yeah, his head is covered in chalk. It really, the excitement of the night can't really be overstated. That was amazing. And the crowd knows it too. They really got a show tonight.
Medals, you guys are definitely put these in the scrapbook, right? These guys are going, these medals are going on their mommy blogs. If you don't follow their mommy blogs, you are missing out on
Some
good
nice
videos.
flashy medals for the trophy cabinet back at home.
Matt has a fashion
I'm sure all three of those gentlemen
Yeah, sorry about that. All right, these are your winners
have them
tonight.
stacked up.
Yeah, I would wear mine to the bar tonight. That's what I would do. I don't know if Drew's ready for the bar. I can't tell or not. You never know.
For the women, 8th place we have Brooke. I don't know how to say your last name.
All right, so in 8th place we have Brooke Rabitu.
8th place.
Awesome performance. Tried her heart out. Always
7th
smiles.
place, Michaela Kirsch.
And there we have Michaela Kirsch coming in 7th place.
In 6th place we have, and her dad told me this earlier, Sienna, who goes by Cece. Her dad corrected me. 5th place, Alex Puccio. You know the name.
6th place we have CC Koff.
And then, of course, someone you know well, Alex Puccio in 5th place.
Isn't that right? We got money for you. Money, money, money. But you have to sign a W-9 because Uncle Sam needs his too. Are we in the 3rd place? Yeah, we're in 3rd place.
4th place we have
You were first, right, tonight? You went out first?
let's see, Chloe Koskoy.
Claire got out first. Claire. Bertha. 3rd place.
And then in 3rd place, first on the jump box,
Burfine.
Claire
Take
Burfine.
your spot on the podium, Claire.
Looking very happy to be there.
2nd place, Natalia Grossman.
2nd place we have Natalia Grossman.
And the women's 1st place tonight,
And then, of course,
that'll be the great power, Kyra Condi.
in 1st place, Kyra Condi, for the first time taking home 1st place at a National Cup Series event. It's exactly the kind of upset we knew there was potential to happen. She's been competing at a high level for a while. She's been looking for that 1st place spot, and she finally got it.
Only getting stronger.
No doubt, she's a youngin'.
Try harder. Let's put a final round of applause for the women competitors tonight.
And there they get their medals. Looking so happy, as they should.
Strongest, most talented climbers in the United States. So, well done, ladies. In the freaking world.
Our MC just said that those were 3 of the most talented climbers in the United States, or maybe 8 of the most talented climbers in the U.S., and I have to agree. They really put on quite a show, and they're very impressive.
Climbing for being here, and all the work that they put forth. Does anybody want to stay for citizens prizes?
Well, ladies and gentlemen,
That's a yes.
I think that about does it for the Bayou City Classic. Thank you so much for joining us for the live stream. I hope you have had just as much of an exciting night as we've had. Once again, my name is Al Smith.
And I'm Miles West.
And we will see you at the Battle for the Fort on December 15th in Fort Collins. It'll be at Ascent Studio Climbing and Fitness, so don't miss the live stream, and we will see you then. Good night.